Mail-in voting is a hot topic in the 2020 election season, which has been disrupted by a coronavirus pandemic that altered primaries and conventions. But it's important to know exactly what mail-in voting is and why some people are for and against it. The simplest definition of voting by mail is what it sounds like. You get a ballot, fill it out, and mail it back in to be counted. There are several types of mail-in voting seen in the United States, including early voting, absentee, no excuse absentee, and universal. And while every state allows mail-in voting, some only allow you to do it under certain circumstances. Some states have early voting for residents who wouldn't otherwise be able to vote on Election Day. State or local elections officials set it usually within a limited time frame before Election Day. While in-person voting is almost always part of it, some states allow you to submit an early ballot by mail once you request it from your state. Most states don't require you to give a reason for early voting. Rules for solely absentee voting vary by state. Some states require an excuse for voting by mail. But due to the coronavirus pandemic, several states expanded their absentee ballot request or mailing requirements for just the 2020 elections.
Anybody that qualifies for the primary election is going to be able to vote via absentee.
They said it kept the right to vote intact for voters who otherwise wouldn't risk heading to the polls. Some states even automatically send an absentee ballot or ballot request form to registered voters. And about 2/3 of the states allow for no excuses absentee ballots. That's also what it sounds like. You don't have to specify or meet certain criteria to vote absentee. But the most controversial type of mail-in voting is universal voting, in which ballots are automatically sent to all registered voters who then mail them back to elections officials. 5 states already conduct all of their elections entirely by mail. And 21 states allow local jurisdictions to conduct all-mail elections. And military service members have voted by mail since the Civil War, with 150,000 Union soldiers voting absentee in the 1864 presidential election. In the 2016 presidential election, almost 60 million Americans voted early, by mail, and absentee. But some say widespread voting by mail can lead to fraud.
Mail ballots are a very dangerous thing for this country because they're cheaters.
The crux of that argument is that universal mail-in voting may allow someone to alter a vote, rigging an election for one party. But with features meant to preserve the security of elections, experts say that voter fraud is rare. The Sacramento Bee found that independent studies and experts have repeatedly found that voting by mail does not lead to much abuse at all. And a Stanford University study found there is no evidence that such voting would favor one political party. And if you're wondering about its impact on turnout, that same study found that universal vote by mail modestly increases overall average turnout rates. The greater issue for voting by mail may not be widespread voter fraud, but the ability to keep up with the demand. During the early spring 2020 primaries, several states dealt with missing ballots, absentee ballot requests not received, and very long lines at the polls where election systems failed to keep up with demand. And the support of voting by mail has started to grow. A Pew Research Center poll showed that almost 3 out of 4 Americans favored universal access to mail voting. However Americans decide to vote this year, officials are expecting a record turnout for a close presidential race and contentious congressional races.